Evening, everybody. Welcome to our Monday night Zoom call. For those of you in South Africa, thank you for giving up your last day of your public holiday to be on a call. It's amazing to see so many happy, smiling faces here, and obviously those that I can't see as well that I know are in South Africa, that you're on the call. So that's fantastic. So this evening, I am going to be presenting with Caroline, who's in the UK. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Merle Westcott, and I'm a Senior Presidential Director in South Africa. And I joined LifeWave in December 2022. And I went through that Christmas not telling anybody about LifeWave, first of all, because I wasn't going to work it as a multi-level marketing business, because I was done with multi-level marketing. But because I've been in complementary healing for nearly 30 years, so for those who don't know, I'm a life alignment therapist, and there are quite a few of us on this call. And I started practicing in 1996 and teaching in 2001. So it's a very long time ago. And I have been a nutritionist for more than 10 years as well. So when I started, the product sounded amazing. X39 ticked every box for me, but I was done with multi-level marketing until I realized that LifeWave wasn't like any other company I had ever been involved with before. And the rest is history. But I had an incredible result in my first week because I'd injured my shoulder in 2012 doing a fitness challenge. And I spent a lot of time at the chiropractor. I battled lots with pain. I couldn't use my arm to do tricep dips. I couldn't do this with my arm. So I couldn't put like my arm under my pillow, which of course I know you're not meant to do, but I couldn't do it at all. And within a week I could. And the pain was dramatically different. I'm still feeling changes 2 years down the line. But in the first 4 months, I did my first blood test. So I do blood tests every year because I have an underactive thyroid. And of course, I'm older, so I test my hormones. And my thyroid had improved so dramatically in the first 4 months that we could halve my medication. So that was a concrete measure done with blood tests. I felt fine because I'm on medication. I didn't feel that anything had changed. So if I didn't do bloods, I wouldn't have known there was that change happening. Of course, we see changes on the outside, and Caroline is going to tell you about those. But what's happening outside is just a reflection of what's happening inside the body. So in the last year, I've been asked if I've had a facelift. I've been asked if I've used Botox, neither of which I have done. I will be turning 59 next year, but this is me, okay? Changed nothing except adding X39 to what I do. So over to you, Caroline, so you can introduce yourself and then do the product part of the presentation.
Thank you, Mel. And yeah, I am Caroline, and I live in Sussex. I'm Danish, but I've lived in Sussex for the last 30 years, or in England, UK. I am a homeopath, and I was introduced to the patches in January last year. It sounded a bit too good to be true, but it was a very good friend of mine that introduced me. And I thought, well, if she thinks it's good, then I'll definitely look into it. So I immediately thought, I'm going to buy them. I'm going to try them. I specifically had a bad knee that I hadn't been able to fix for years and years. And I just couldn't bend it. And I thought, if Qigong and homeopathy and all the other things I tried didn't work, and this worked, then I was impressed. So I started, once I properly looked into the product and realized that I'm not putting anything weird into my body. This is a completely natural, non-transferable thing that happens where I'm just rebooting my immune system. Once I was kind of sure that that was what was going on, I was very happy to start patching. And I didn't really know anything about the business side, but I was very happy to try it. But I soon found out that I've never done multi-level marketing, and I soon found out it was a bit of a dirty word in some people's ears. And I thought, well, I have no prejudice against it, but I could feel there was a bit of resistance here and there. And then I talked to one of my friends who's a doctor, and she said, "Oh, I don't see the big deal. We in the medical profession, we've been kind of governed by big pharma. They've taken all the profit for so long, and this is a really nice way of sharing profit with people that we like working with." And I just thought, yeah, that's just a really nice way of looking at it. And so I never really bothered to get stressy about it. Anyway, the project started talking for itself. I got quite a few of my friends to patch, And although I didn't have an immediate one patch wonder kind of thing happening to me, I felt within a couple of weeks that my sleep was really, really getting much, much better. It was starting to improve. And it was just that feeling of feeling refreshed and waking up and thinking, I slept really well. And I have energy and I'm got focus. I'm dreaming. That was a long time since that happened. And then it's so long ago that I keep forgetting, but I think it was about 6 weeks, I started really feeling the difference in my knee as well. And by the end of 3 months, and I had added Eon at that point as well to my regime, I was bending, I was flexing, I was squatting, and generally my overall pain levels, which I think I hadn't really realized was part of my everyday life, would just seem to be disappearing. And so that was very exciting. Meanwhile, I had one of my friends who had started on X39 only. 4 weeks in, her eczema just disappeared, and she'd had that since she was a child, and she was in her 50s, so she was very impressed. And but the interesting thing is that when you've been patching for almost a year that I have now, and I haven't actually, like Merle, done any blood tests, which I should have done, but you start thinking, well, what else is going on? Because there's certain things you might not feel. But what I've just recently discovered is I've started a new little class that is yin yoga, and I'm actually able to sit all class on my bottom without getting one of those little boxes that you sit on because your back's not great. And today we had to do something where I was sitting with my legs over like this, which of course I couldn't do either for years, that kind of sit. And because I'm now bending my knee. And she said, oh, and then we stretch forward. And I just put my head on the floor and I went, what just happened? There's no way I could have done that just, a year ago. I was just so subtle, flexible in my back. And I'm 66, so that was pretty impressive. Okay, I am hypermobile, but it was like I was like, I was actually laughing because I was lying with my forehead onto the floor thinking, how can I even do this without breaking, Got back up again and felt absolutely fine. So just to say that the benefits of this little amazing patch is just ongoing, I feel. And I just keep discovering little things that have in my own life as well as all the people that I'm patching. So yeah. Anyway, shall we get on to the presentation, Mel? So the thing we say to everyone that we meet who hasn't actually started patching yet is, have you been patched? Because if you haven't, you need to get onto the train of elevating, activating, and regenerating your stem cells, because this is truly amazing what happens to your body when you patch with this little X39. Now, we can't talk about the patches at all without talking about David Schmidt, the CEO, inventor of X39, and he is amazing. I mean, he's now got more than 180 patents. And I don't know if any of you were on the Saturday night call, but it is so interesting to hear him speak. There's just so much coming out of that brain. He's got so many new patents that he's trying to get patented, and of course, he's just he's steaming ahead with all sorts of things. But in this particular instance, we're talking about the X39 stem cell activating patch, and that was the one that he really, really, I mean, that was his big breakthrough, I think, because back in the 2008, there was so much talk about stem cell research in that kind of time that he decided that he had to try and get on to that kind of invention. And for him to have found something that does not involve injecting or anything else, but you're simply sticking on a little plaster is amazing. And that recent patent that he got took 10 years and 4.5 million to bring to market. And X39 has been around for about 4 years, 5 years now. Now, you don't get a patent unless you've got a really robust set of work, scientific work that you put your patent through. There has to be lots of proof that the patent does what it does. And if we look about of what does actually X39 do, well, it's an embodiment as a result of elevating copper peptides, including activations of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. Why X39 stem cell activation patch? Well, the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. And that should probably not come as any surprise to anybody. Hundreds of millions of people experience symptoms of aging all the time. What I didn't know, I think I knew that we have the maximum amount of stem cells when we're born, but I certainly didn't know that by 30, we only have half our active stem cells left. And when you're 60, you've almost lost all stem cell activity. So no wonder people get, age and we start hurting and not healing so quickly. Now, how does X39 work? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy, which is another way of saying light therapy. So we know light therapy from babies being put under light when they're jaundiced, or we know that if we go into the sun, we activate vitamin D on our skin. And so this is just another way of activating our stem cells by light. And what actually happens is it's as you know, it's the patented nanocrystal technology, and it reflects the light from your own body. So your body emits infrared light, and it in turn activates something in the patch, which is called the patch activates in the skin something called copper peptides. And those copper peptides are really, really important for your body. And those are also, those peptides are also less as we age. But it's these peptides that activate our stem cells and really get them working. So they're really, really important. Now, the patch is non-transdermal. There's absolutely no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants, and it's non-invasive. And I feel that that is the biggest selling point of all of this. What are the benefits of X39? Well, there's increased strength and there's reduced inflammation. There's definitely also increased stamina and energy and vitality. And this is, by the way, all from the studies as well. This is not just something that some of us feel. This is from all the clinical studies. There's mental clarity, there's restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, improved skin appearance, and you actually achieve optimal health and a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being when you start X39. This is a result of a topography map by a 77-year-old woman who had an X39 placed on the back of her neck. As you can see in the first session, there's a lot of red on that picture, and it shows a lot of inflammation in the brain. This was before she patched, and there's a lack of brain coherence. But already in session 2, which was only 3 weeks on X39, there's no more inflammation and there's improved brain coherence. And by session 3, 6 weeks on X39, there's a complete turnaround. There's better brain coherence, and her brain calmed down dramatically already at the second visit. By the third, and 6 weeks in, her brain remained calm. So X39 long-term results per case studies on thisisit.info.com. Now, this is a great website or a great source of information for anyone who wants to know about the patches. clinical studies, there's doctors talking, I mean, if you go on to that, even just looking at the first 3 or 4 videos on there will give you lots of information about X39. And it will also tell you that the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. This is not anti-aging, it's age reversing, is what David Schmidt likes to say. And how do you wear X39? Well, you wear your patch on 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And then you have a break in between so that the body can actually also not get overused to wearing light therapy, because if you wear it 24/7, it might actually end up not as effective as when you have this 12-hour break. So you throw the patch away again. So let's say you put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning, you take it off 8 at night, and then you start all over again the next day. Some people like to save their patch because there's a little bit of light activation still in there, and might put it on your pet, your husband, even your plants, and give them another 4 hours of patching. But in theory, you would throw it away and put a new one on and repeat. But you can wear more patches at the same time, just not the same patch. So for instance, if you wore X39, you could also wear the Eon patch for inflammation at the same time. And what you need to remember with wearing patches is to drink plenty of water. It's especially important for the patches to work as efficiently as they can. The water will really help that process. And if you can put some electrolytes in, even better. Some people suggest you take a couple of gulps of water every half hour. Much better than drinking 2 big glasses during the day and then putting strains on your kidneys. But just remember that your patches will work so much better if you drink enough water, and it will also avoid any severe detoxes as well. So X39 is so sophisticated yet very simple to explain. The testimonies are life-changing and emotional, and the best thing about X39 is that it absolutely works.
Thank you, Caroline. That was wonderful. So let's go into a few testimonies. And I know that at the beginning of this call, somebody was asking about menopause. So Henrietta's on the call. So I was going to ask Henrietta to talk about, she's got 2 great things, her hormones and her eyes. So perhaps you can speak about both.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Henrietta. I live in Norway and I've been patching since March this year. And when I heard all the stories about X39, I really didn't know whether to believe all of this, but I was willing to try. And I heard pretty soon that it could help for hormonal disorders. So I'm an optimist. I have been using a lot of hormonal medicine for years, and I try to reduce my medicine from time to time, but it really doesn't work. I wake up crying. So I started patching. After 1 month, I tried to reduce my medicine, and I woke up crying. So I thought, okay, too soon. Maybe this doesn't work. And then I kept patching. And after 2 months, I tried to reduce my medication and had no symptoms at all. And I was like, wow, hmm. And after 3 months of patching, I quit my medicine altogether. So I've been 6 months now off medication, and it feels absolutely wonderful. I used a combination of patches though. So if anybody wants to PM me or anything to see how I did that. I am a very healthy person, so I didn't know what else to expect. But after 6 months, because I kept patching, even though I didn't have any specific condition I wanted to treat, because I realized that stem cells is my own immune system, and the more stem cell I have, the better equipped am I if I get to catch anything later. So I just kept on patching, and then I got problems with my eyes. And that is usually a very bad sign for me, because I've been using special glasses since I was 17, and my eyes have deteriorated over the years, and I was now at -4 in my eyesight, and special glasses, and yeah. So I realized after 6 months of patching that I couldn't see as well anymore. So I went to the eye doctor expecting the worst. But what had happened was that my eyes had improved dramatically. It's no other explanation than the patch. I do not need special glasses anymore. All of the things that were wrong are just completely gone. And my eyesight that was at -4, that it had reduced to 2.5 on one eye and 2.75 on the other eye. So great improvement. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so happy about that because now I can actually see the floor without my glasses, and that's a long time ago that I could. And I now also can wear contact lenses if I want to. I couldn't do that because I had special glasses. Now I can. So for me, this patch has been absolutely amazing. And for my friends, it's been amazing. And I see so many results in the people that I patch. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I have to talk to people about it. I go out to talk to people about it. I really want everybody to know that there is hope. There is, whatever is the problem you're having, stem cells can help you, and it's available in a patch. It's to me the greatest thing that's happened. I'm absolutely, yeah, speechless about what this patch can do.
Thanks so much, Henrietta. And for those of you who don't know Henrietta, she's spearheading the growth in Norway. So she does Norwegian presentations every Thursday night. So if anybody has anyone who you need to put onto a Norwegian presentation, you need to you connect with Henrietta as well, because they do them every week. Sharon, I see you back. You obviously dropped off a minute ago. I'd love you to share again, because I met Sharon for the first time last week, and she had an incredible story. So many of us, our stories are not necessarily quick, and we don't expect them to be, because in each person, stem cells are going to work at the rate that they need to work at. And it's not like we're taking a drug to mask symptoms. We're allowing our body to heal itself. But Sharon had a very fast result. She's only in her very early days. But if you are happy to share again, we'd love to hear your story. I don't know if Sharon can unmute. I know she had some issues because she went off and came back on again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. I still have not figured out how to put it even on video, but we'll work on that. It's wonderful to hear from you all. I tell you guys, I am just so happy. I am just feeling different and just feeling balanced and hopeful and just in a good mood. And I just, I'm just thrilled. I'm just thrilled. So let me see. I wasn't expecting to talk. So let me see. Because I've been kind of writing notes as the week has gone on, what I feel and such. But I don't know what else to say except that this is so simple. And I tell you, everywhere I go, I think of, and I hear people that are hurting or having a tumor or different things. I'm like, I just want them to have this. But I do know that hesitation of people, like there's that, I don't know. I just got to, I guess, do it longer, and then I'll have my own testimony more so than just what I've heard and it's so far experienced. But I just feel I believe in this stuff. That's what I just got to say on that.
But Sharon, do you want to maybe share, because I know Amanda introduced you and she had an incredible COVID story, and I think that's what resonated with you.
Yes. I had, excuse me, I had another COVID long haul experience a couple of weeks ago, and had gotten on the ivermectin again and thought it would knock it out. It didn't. Helped a little bit, I guess. But when I started this, I noticed that I don't have any of the symptoms now. And so I'd say after 2 days, I just felt like I don't have the COVID long haul anymore, which surprised me a lot. So that was really nice. Am I making sense on that?
Yeah, you're making perfect sense.
Yeah. Like I would feel the fever and the different things, and I have not felt it probably in 4 days. So it's wonderful. Happy about that.
Thanks so much. It was wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Would anybody else like to share? I know I can see so many people I could pick on, but I'm going to see who would like to volunteer. So we have one more testimony, would be wonderful. Who would like to? Anyone? Nina? No pressure.
Okay, I can share.
Thank you. Because I know you've
So more on the emotional side. My friend Lee has been terribly, terribly anxious her whole life. And she hasn't, physically, she hasn't experienced any changes, but there was nothing wrong. There was nothing to change. But from an anxiety point of view, she's so much better. And even when she does experience anxiety, what I've noticed is how much better she copes. It's really been quite remarkable because, you know, there was a time when she couldn't speak about anything else other than her anxiety. And for myself, I was bulimic in my 20s. And somehow I managed to get through that and get to the other side of it, except that since then, I've always had a very unhealthy relationship with food. And about 3 months ago, I started noticing that it was changing. A lot of the anxiety around food. I always had to know that there was something to eat, that there was something to snack on. I tended to eat too much and too fast, and all of that has changed. I just feel very comfortable around food, and if I miss a meal, it doesn't matter. That used to be quite a big deal for me.
Thanks, Nina.
Yeah.
And I know Nina, we could go on all day with Nina's story because she's had so many things that have changed over it's about a year, isn't it, Nina?
Yeah, it's almost a year.
Almost a year, and lots has changed.
I've had constant changes. I think one of the biggest things for me has been my brain function. It's just better in so many ways. My thinking is clearer, my speech is more fluid, I've become quite hesitant. Forgetfulness has improved. Well, I don't forget things so much anymore. When I meet somebody that I know, at one stage I would know that I knew them, but I didn't know who they were. I couldn't remember their name and I couldn't remember where I'd met them. And that was quite disorienting. And for the most part, that's much better. My focus, my concentration, so many brain things. And one that I think is related to my eye, this has probably been the most recent thing. I've had a problem with my left eye for quite a while. It used to weep quite a lot, and it wasn't dry eye. The ophthalmologist, in fact, told me that there was the gel in this eye had thickened, and that was causing the weeping. But also, I had a very strange thing that would happen. I would be looking for something and couldn't find it, and 30 seconds later, I would see it right in front of me. So something had happened with the focus or my ability to pick things up. And I've noticed in the last few weeks that that's much, much better.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nina.
Yeah, thanks.
I see your hand is up.
Thanks, Mo. Just a quick feedback on this. I've been on the call since May this year when I started patching, and I can honestly, Nina, see a huge difference in you, especially with the focus, less scattered, like completely different. That's what I've noticed. So everything you mentioned now, I've actually been seeing, so I would agree. My short testimonial is I was just thinking on Sunday, I woke up fairly late, which is unusual for me, but I had a lot to get on with that day. And I remembered I still had two energy enhancer patches. So I patched myself at about 12 o'clock or noon. The only problem, everyone, was I was awake at 3 in the morning, feeling as right as rain and like ready to rock and roll, you know? So if you're going to wear the energy enhancers, please put them on early in the morning. Like I'm petrified now because I just couldn't go to sleep and I wasn't feeling tired at all. So that was the energy enhancer. And just a quick one for all the pet lovers out there. I know this isn't for pets, but I was busy on the call because I remembered to take my patches off and I was putting this on Tao's collar. So he wears my used patches. He's 15 years old and he's doing great. And since the patches, people around me have, said, in fact, it was his birthday on Saturday, have said, they can see a remarkable difference in him. Just, he's jumping up on chairs, jumping into the car, demands his walk daily. And so he's pretty healthy, but I also want him to live till 30 if possible. So I patch him as much as possible. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Kim. And I was going to say, I unmuted Nina again because Kim was saying just how she's watched Nina. Now, I've known Nina for over 20 years. And Nina, I would say that you're back to where you were when I first met you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago, hey?
I know. We did, so Nina and I both teach life alignments, and we did a teacher's course together, and I stayed with Nina in 2002. So I've known her for a very long time. So anyway, let's go back to the presentation. Just so everybody knows that we do watch these, to watch the progress of our friends, which is amazing. So one more for you, Caroline.
Yep.
I'm just trying to change the slide. Oh, there we go.
Okay, we go. And finally here you have thisisit.info.com. Oh, that was the one I was just telling you about earlier actually as well. And as I said, it's really worth going on to this website. Have a listen to some of the doctors speaking there. Have a look at some of the little films that are on. It's a really easy website to find your way around, and there's lots and lots of good information.
Thanks, Caroline. So as I said earlier, when I joined in December 2022, I was never going to build LifeWave as a business. But when I saw the first results, and the first amazing results that I saw was Karen, who was a longtime client of mine. And she started patching towards the end of January last year, and she had had a really bad car accident 34 years before. She'd had what's known as a hangman's injury or an internal decapitation. Usually it's an injury only seen in the morgue because most people who have it die, but she didn't. And every time they x-rayed her, it looked fine, but her skull was no longer attached to her spine. And it took them 5 years and x-rays and specialists across South Africa, the UK, and America before they actually x-rayed her in a position where they realized that her skull was actually moving on the top of her spine and damaging her spinal cord. Anyway, they did surgery, and the results of the surgery was that there were issues over carrying on. She kept having more surgeries to keep her pain-free, to help her moving. At the beginning of last year, there was nothing more they could do surgery-wise. She hadn't driven a car in 12 years. There were a whole lot of other things. If anybody would like to see her testimony, we can share it. I recorded her in July last year. After that, she went overseas. She went to Greece. It was her first overseas trip in many years. She managed to walk 15,000 steps a day. And this year, she's been to the Netherlands and Croatia. So her life has changed dramatically. Plus, she now owns her own car because she can drive again. She doesn't wear a great big neck brace. Her life changed completely. That was when I realized what we had our hands on, when I started sharing. But then I thought, well, okay, I'm going to start sharing with people. I've met all these incredible people in LifeWave. So let me have a look at this company, because if I'm going to tell people about it, I need to know that it's stable. Anyway, last year we were a 19-year-old company. We turned 20 this year. In fact, we turned 20 in November. And in August, I was on the company's 20th anniversary cruise, which is very special. I met David Schmidt for the first time in August, and then I met him again in conference in October. So the company, since X39 came to market, it came to market in 2018, was patented in 2020. And so we've got 16 years left on the patent. We went from a 20 million turnover in 2021 to 320 million in 2022, 430 million last year, and this year we're on track to do over 600 million. In fact, in the 2 weeks of Black Friday, the team we belong to under Steve and Gina Merritt, they under Onyx Cole, did $17.5 million in 2 weeks. Now, given that in 2021, the whole company only did 20 million, just shows you how far the company has come. We're now open in over 75 countries. And the very exciting thing about us is we're not a Me Too product. So there are amazing multi-level marketing companies out there with great products. But there's a lot of competition. So if I've got a weight loss product, somebody else has one too. But if I have got a LifeWave patch, it's patented for another 16 years, X39, no one can copy it. So that's a very special thing about what we have our hands on. So we also last year were ranked as the #1 momentum company in network marketing in the world, which is something else that is quite incredible. And at this point of the presentation, I'd like everybody to think about, why are you on this call this evening? Some of you are brand partners, and so you're here because you've got guests or you like to be here, and so you've already considered this. But if you're new to LifeWave and you don't know anything about us, what are you here for? What are you looking for? When you got that phone call from whoever phoned you, what appealed to you about LifeWave? Is it the time? Do you want more time with your family? Do you find that you are on the treadmill? You're like a little hamster running to keep up and to keep everything, together financially. Do you want the freedom to wake up when you want to wake up, work when you want to work, travel while you're working, meet people all over the place? Do you want more security? Or is it just health? When I joined LifeWave, it was all about better health. But I have to say that I had a lot of debt, but I didn't know that we had this amazing comp plan. In fact, Candace, my sponsor, who's also Senior Presidential Director, showed me a little video from David Schmidt talking to healthcare professionals. And that for me was what brought me into LifeWave. I didn't have to see anything else. So I didn't look at the compensation plan. I didn't watch a presentation. In fact, LifeWave was so new to South Africa that there wasn't any, there weren't any local presentations yet. We sort of started them. Anyway, how do we get compensated in LifeWave? So like most multi-level marketing companies, there's several ways that we get compensated. So there are 4 main ways. So if somebody joins us as a brand partner, we get what's called as a product introductory bonus. Somebody who never wants to work this as a business can sign up under you as a preferred customer, which means they're going to get wholesale price, but you're going to earn off their monthly order. Or they could be a retail customer, so you could sell to them at recommended retail, or they could buy off your website at recommended retail. But what we really like to do in LifeWave is we like to grow teams. And growing a team is as easy as introducing 4 friends and putting 2 on the left and 2 on the right, because we only ever have 2 legs. And those 2 legs are made up of people that you put there and that the team above you put there. And then once you start introducing friends, the team below you. Everything they do, from signing up to buying monthly product to signing up preferred customers, all has what we call a business volume attached. And that volume opens us up to getting what's known as team commissions or cycle bonuses. Now, cycle bonuses are capped at $25,000 a week from the binary for the top earning senior presidential director. So I'm nowhere near that, but we earn cycle bonuses every week. And once you binary qualify, that means you've introduced 1 person on the left, 1 on the right that's active, and you have 330 business volume on one leg and 660 on the other, you can get your first cycles. And until you're a manager, you can make 2 cycles a week. Once you're a manager, you can earn up to $1,500 a week on cycle bonuses. So if you come in and you say, well, I want to earn another $200 a week, well, we can help you do that. But if you want to earn $1,000 a week, we can help you do that too, or $2,000 or $3,000. But maybe you're happy with just covering your product. It really is completely up to you. Now we have another very exciting way of earning, and it's called matching bonuses. To tap into matching bonuses, you need to be a manager. Once you're a manager, though, you get rewarded for the activity of those people underneath you. But when you're rewarded, you're not taking anything away from them. So let me use Nina as an example, because Nina is my first line, so I sign Nina up. If Nina was earning $1,000 a week in cycle bonuses, I would be getting $250 or 25% from the company. But Nina would still get her full $1,000, but the company would say, Merle, you've done a great job, you've helped Nina, so we are rewarding you. If Caroline was my second line and she did the same, I would get 20% of what she did. And if Kim was my third line, I would get 20% of what Kim did. Okay, and that is capped at 3 lines, but it is unlimited. So if you brought in 50 people and all 50 are getting cycle bonuses, you will get, on the first line, you will get 25% of all those 50. Now, this might sound very confusing, but I'll point you in the direction of a website where you can go and watch a whole webinar on the comp plan if that's what floats your boat. I didn't understand it at all. I didn't even know the comp plan, what the comp plan was. I just knew that this product sounded amazing and I was jumping in. So how did I come in? So I thought, well, I'm not going to be a preferred customer, even though I'm never going to build this. I'm going to come in as a brand partner because that means I'm going to get wholesale price whenever I want to buy, and I can choose when and what. So I came in on core, which gave me 3 sleeves of X39. Now, a lot of people customize their pack, so they add other patches like Eon for inflammation or Ice Wave. I didn't know anything else existed. Even though the company had been around much longer, and there were a lot of other patches, I was only told about X39, and I watched David Schmidt talking about X39. So I jumped in on core and got 3 sleeves of X39, and I thought, that's great. My husband and I will each have one for first month. The next month, we would cover 2 weeks between us, and then we would upgrade. Now, that's the other thing we can do in LifeWave, is that at any time we can upgrade to the next pack. We just pay the difference, and we get the difference in product. If I knew what I knew now, I would have come in on advance to start with, which would have cost me $535, and I would have got 6 sleeves of X39, so already a nice big discount. And I would have had extra sleeves to share with people, or I might have customized because you could take one of these away and replace it with 2 cheaper sleeves. Then if you're really a serious entrepreneur, you could come in on premium or upgrade to premium, which I eventually did, which is $1,750. And that gives you 20 sleeves of patches, so they're only costing you $87.50 each. But it also gives you volume for 3 months. So it keeps you active for 3 months. And what do I mean about staying active? Remember I talked about that binary? To keep all the volume that's being generated on your legs in the binary, you need to be active. So until you're a manager, you need 1 sleeve of patches a month to stay active. Once you're a manager, all the way up to senior presidential director, you need 2 sleeves of X39 to stay active a month. And that is all you need. So in my household, 3 of us patch with X39 every single day. So we already buy more product, and we buy other patches too. We buy more product than we need to, but because we use it, not because we're forced to buy it, which is what can happen in some companies. We also, for brand partners, have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if in the first 30 days you go, this company is not for me, you can ask for your money back. However, if you're wanting a result from patching, David Schmidt says everybody should do a 90-day protocol at least. And we know that most people should patch for longer. So there are people in my downline, Trish, who had bulging discs in her spine. It took her a year before she was completely pain-free and before the bulging discs were completely gone. So she was scheduled to, they wanted to do surgery. She didn't want it. A year later, they don't need to do surgery because there's no bulging discs. Alex, who came from the pharmaceutical industry as a nursing sister, spent months researching. She had polymyalgia. It took 10 months to be pain-free. In between, she had other things happen, but it took her 10 months. So if she had given up at 6 months even, she wouldn't have been okay. Interestingly enough, or wouldn't have healed. Jen O'Sullivan, who's a naturopath and also a senior presidential director, she says that if people say they want to patch, she gets them to commit to patching for a year. Because like we're starting to see, not everybody has quick results. And Alex says the same. She says, you need to patch for longer if you really want to see the results because your body is doing the healing. But for so many people in the downlines, it means that they are off all kinds of terrible medications. And we see more and more and more results. So as I said, I'm going to point you to where you can find all the information. So this is at team.com. is our business website put together by Steve and Gina Merritt, who are our upline in the States. Now, Caroline spoke to you about this is at info.com. This is a team is where the business info is. So if you go there and you go to the compensation plan, you'll find a whole lot of webinars about our compensation plan. There's a very good one by Danny McDaniel, and in an hour, he explains exactly how we get paid. So if you're the kind of person who wants to understand the whole business side before you jump in, go and have a look there. What I can tell you is if you come in on any of the packs, you are going to be paying for product. You're not paying to join the company. You're just paying for your product. You're getting your own website and your own business as a bonus. So the time is now to make your move. What is your dream? Are you serious? For me, my dream was to do something about my shoulder and help my husband's tinnitus. There is hope for your future. And so many of my team members can attest to that, from mental clarity to rheumatoid arthritis in remission to diabetes in remission, all sorts of things. We make no claims, but we know that the body can heal itself in the most phenomenal way. So it really is up to you to get started with X39. So go back to the person who invited you to the call. And if you have any questions, ask them anything that you may want to know. But thanks, Caroline, for presenting with me this evening. And thank you, everybody, for being on the call with us tonight, especially those of you in South Africa where, it's the last day of a public holiday. So I'm going to stop recording now.